Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got a balanced rack, but it's non-bingo-y with the J and the V. And I'm going to struggle to play off the J with the V, unless opponent plays an I. The rack, apart from the J and V, is pretty good. So, what if opponent... Oh, fantastic. Well, not that fantastic. Opponent does provide an I. That's not a bingo-y floater. But it would enable me to play jive. But I'd need to burn the S to get it doubled. So, is there anything better? I certainly do want to play the J and the V, unless there's a massive J spot, and I don't think there is. Do I have anything through the A? No. And how about any alternatives to jives? Well, Kunji Voir through a U and an I. No. Well, gosh, look at that massive Z spot I'm opening. I'm really hesitant about this because I'm playing off more tiles than I wanted to. And I feel there is a better play, but I'm just not seeing it. Jives takes a T. I'm going with this. Wow. Well, if that was a suboptimal play last turn, I've been unfairly rewarded. This is a fantastic rack. I will surely be bingoing now. So, what if the blank is a T? Do I have a bingo? Well, not that I can see. So, what is the next best lane? Well, I guess column 8, beginning or ending in A. That remains available. Row E is a double-double lane. 33 points for opponent. So, do I have anything ending in A? I'm going to run through the alphabet looking for plays which begin or end with A. So, imagining my rack plus an A. Not seeing anything so far. Or indeed just anything through an A. Because at the moment I have no candidate bingo. So I have solacing, but that's just face value. Lichanos, again face value. Well, there isn't a ton of plays coming to mind. I guess A as an ending isn't massively common. So this rack plus an A. Salpicon, possibly. Does that have an anagram? I think it does. Not seeing it. That feels like there could be one. But these are such bingo-y tiles, all racks are going to look tempting. Now, I'm just wondering about clonist for row L. It may just be clonism, or neither. But this rack plus an A? No. Unsocial. Again, not beginning or ending. Okay, so what about alternative lanes? How about a play ending INGS? I'm going to put this down. So I have, what do I have? Well, whatever I have is going to be pretty volatile. So where else to consider? Well, what about those plays through the A, but in row E rather than column 8, because then they will get doubled. So I think I'm going to go with social for 68. Wow, not a great pickup, but not a disaster either. I've got an I to go with the Q, and I can get rid of W, H and Y altogether with Y, which plays in row D. Anywhere super hot for QI, and through an F I would have Feek. Unsocial doesn't take anything. Great, just 16 for opponent, so I have a little bit of headroom. It would be quite nice to take out this Z spot next to the E, but if I'm playing off any of my high scoring tiles apart from the Q, I'd like to get rid of all of them. So I could play Way in row B, but that's setting up a super hot spot in row A. C takes an H underneath. Now, Way keeps the O. Yowie is good. Which would play in column 10, but would burn the I. So I'm not seeing anywhere for QI. There is a U on the board, which Y would block. But there are QI spots. There are several of them, so I don't need to keep the U available. So this is what I'm thinking of. It gives away nothing. It scores nearly 30 points. Well, I'm tempted to burn the E as well, just because of the number of vowels. Well, if I'm going to do that, why not play here? 36 points, that's pretty good. I'm taking out the Z danger, and this is the best I've seen. I'm going with this. And I draw the second blank, fantastic. The rest of the rat pretty ropey, and if I play off just QI, then I don't have a bingo-y leave. But look at this, the U of unsocial remains available. Good score for opponent. So I can play Acqui through this. The score will be rubbish, but I'm burning a lot more vowels. Whoops, I don't want to burn my blank, so I don't have Acqui. Do I have an alternative? Well, I have Quay, Q-U-A-I. That isn't terrible. Only 14 points. Is there any other way of burning 2 or more vowels with the Q? I don't think so. I am going with this. Well, fortunately I draw a W, which I wouldn't ordinarily say, but given the vowel heaviness, the W provides a way of scoring and sorting the rack out. The worst rack is when you don't have a bingo and you've only got 1 point tiles. Quay takes an L and an R, so row H, quite a hot spot, but that will provide a ton of floaters. So if that comes at the right time, I could have a bingo. And I could have a bingo now with the right floater. It's possible. So if the blank or a floater were an R, I would have tree with E-O-W. No, not seeing anything there. Wow, 44 points for opponent. Look at this, just 3 points between us despite all the blanks I've had. So I am drawn to row A. I don't have a bingo. And I can play U for 30 points, decent score, decent rack leave. I'm stopping opponent playing there. Co takes nothing in front, so I can't take the right hand's triple word square, even though I have a W and O for going in front of HO, and the middle one is the more dangerous. I'm going with this. Am I? I am. And that is a fantastic pickup. Surely I am bingoing now. Well, just a ton of options available. So I have Sopited in column 15. Noogie taking an S. Same play in column 5 for a lot less, and in row I. O takes nothing after it, so Not a huge number of lanes on the board. It's column 5 and column 15 and row I, plus other options with the floating A and I in quail, in key rather. No 2-letter sets are particularly promising. So critical moment, only one S to come. If opponent doesn't take column 15, this will be the spot. So what are the anagrams of so pited? Do any of them have SP in that order? I don't think so. There's deposit, posited, suppited, topside. Gosh, that's close. P and S just the wrong way round. Look at this. All 6 R's to come, and key taking an R. So if column 15 is blocked, and it may be because the E of Noogie is underneath a double word square, I guess I'm looking to play in column 5 with a 2-tile overlap, so I could play posited in that spot, and that would also take out row H because there aren't plays ending SL or SR. U takes an E in front. I'm just wondering, last turn, did I have another E? I did. So I sacrificed 3 points, but the E I think was quite valuable on my rack. E's do feature in a lot of bingos. Now, opponent taking a while with this play. Is that because he's about to bingo? Just 20 points between us, and a critical moment. If he bingos, then my bingo is going to establish a similar lead, and it's going to be tight. If opponent doesn't bingo and I get mine down, I have a 100-point lead. Now, column 8 I haven't considered. Bingo's beginning with A. I think antipode is good. I don't think it's just a sticky S antipodes. So I have antipode, and that would get the P doubled. Wow. Let me just confirm that. Yes. Wow, well, that's got to be the play, I think. Even though there's one S in the open, I think the extra points for antipode are going to be worthwhile. What will that score? 89. And what about so pited? 87. So very little between them, and antipode or antipode will provide a bunch of floaters, so maybe column 15 is better. Now, a column 15 play would be better because of all of the overlaps available, but double G makes it unlikely. I think all of my candidate plays alternate. Well, posited plays. Let's see what this scores. That's 92. That is the play because it's taking out this triple word square as well. Wow, and what a good pickup. Very close to a bingo. I don't have a 7, but there could be an 8 if opponent sticks a floating consonant out into the open. Can't see anything with the C, nor through O and C. Nothing with an A. What about S and A? Not seeing anything. Have I rejected the possibility of a 7-letter play too quickly? I would have Oliphant through an L, still 2 L's to come. If opponent's got an L or an R, surely he's tempted by row H. And then I could get another... Wow, opponent bingos! Do any of these floaters assist? And look at that, vowels generally don't. And the consonants duplicate consonants on my rack, but let me consider them. Great bingo by opponent. I lead by 50. So N. The F is the non-bingo-y tile, and having 4 vowels also reduces bingo prospects, but I'm not seeing anything with an N. I have the Asian ending. What about an E? No. How about the U? No. So we're now looking at the T. Fettation. Oh, and it's blocked because FI isn't good. Unbelievable. How frustrating. Okay, so I don't have fettation. R is not a floater. What about AL? Gosh, opponent did have an L for Olifiant, he just hasn't stuck it in the open. C no longer a floater, but AL. No, not seeing anything. Okay, so I'm looking to play off the F. Where's the spot for that? And I'm looking at row H. I do have a lead of 50 points, so a play in row H would take out all of these floaters. So I have Fino, which is quite nice. It does the job of playing off the F. It plays off my non-bingo-y, my less bingo-y vowels. Rackleave of AET, slightly vowel heavy, but look at this, no A's to come and only 2 E's. In fact, let me check the remaining vowels. 8 out of 29. Wow. Okay, so this is a pretty good Rackleave. I'm providing nothing. FE is good, so is there a way of getting the F over the E for more points? Yes, there is. I can play Tifo. Again, keeping AE, but swapping the N for the T. So Tifo for 34. I have enabled. Does that play? Probably not, since I've just blocked everything. Could be a massive overlap, but look at this TR in the middle, require 2 vowels together, which I don't have. And there's nowhere for a 7-letter lane. So column 1 ending in T. And it would be brutally cruel if opponent bingoed now on such a tight board. But even if he did, we would just be level. This is a frustrating rack because it's a bingo rack and there just aren't any lanes left. But let me consider, there is AL. And I'd need to begin 1 square above that. I have the UBL ending with DEN. Not seeing anything. I don't have anything ending in T. What about IN? That looks like it goes quite well with this rack. So with UBL it would be DEN. Not seeing anything there. But what about an alternative to UBL? Maybe ending ED? No. It's duplicate N, which is restricting possibilities. Great, well, not so great. It's a good score for opponent. Only turns over 2 tiles. But what am I going to do? A is a floater. I need to be mindful of the board in the sense of identifying lanes. What about FE? No. What about OU? So I have double, but that's it. I think I'm going to leave this alone. What about scoring over to the right? Interesting, my F could have gone next to EW and I could have played down FA. What I have at the moment is DAB. Let me see what that scores. It scores 30. It's creating a 7-letter lane ending in S. But there's only 1 S to come. There are not many vowels, and any S bingo would be face value and provide access to triple word squares. So I'm inclined to take that risk. I'm going with this. Okay, so I have lenited. Nothing ending in T. Still 5 R's to come, which is good. It holds out the prospect that opponent has got multiple R's on his rack, restricting his bingo prospects. Now, what about AL? So that's duplicate L. I think I have the tiles for neolated, and that doesn't have an anagram. Nothing ending in B. DAB only takes an S. What about IN? Oh, well, let me consider this A for a start. So dateline doesn't work. Entailed doesn't work. Lineated doesn't work. Opponent continuing to score well, 28 points. My lead is only 50. A bingo could be enough for him, and there are 11 tiles left. So, what to do? Well, XI only takes an S, so I can't do anything about the bottom right. I want to hang on to my vowels. I'd like to turn over tiles, but that's going to involve playing vowels. Interesting. What about playing something like this? How useful are these floaters going to be? They would force a bingo into a very precise pattern. The bingo would have to begin in column 1 or column 2 for the E. It's 22 points and I'm turning over tiles, which I'd quite like to do. But that's not a big score. And it's probably not optimal. What to do? So 7 minutes on my clock, 11 on opponents. Really tricky. Only a 1 and 2 point tiles, so I'm going to struggle to score, and opponent's been piling on the scoring. Look at this. 30 points, 28 points, so I can't be weak in terms of my scores, or opponent may catch me without a bingo. Do I have a play down from AL? No, I don't, and I'm looking for a play which gets tripled. What about taking advantage of the tiles in ashed? So lashed is good. I don't have a vowel for going next to B, the B. So what about playing Lind? I'm retaining 2 E's. I'm scoring 20 points. I'm going with this. Great, I get the V, which holds out scoring potential on a non-bingo-y board. Maybe I should be looking to get rid of this T to increase chances of a column 1 bingo. Let me consider the 2 tile sets. IN. Not seeing anything. FE, no. OU, no. But the remaining tiles starting to look a little bit bingo-y. But look at this, only 3 vowels to come. That's pretty good, and I've got 4 on my rack. That may come to my rescue. 10 minutes on opponent's clock. And not too many floating vowels, so opponent's going to struggle to score and hold on to vowels. Yep did a good job, but there aren't any similar spots available. Just revisiting IN, that's the best 2-letter set. And I think Lind was certainly better than playing down. 28, another good score for opponent, but he burns a vowel. Look at this, the remaining tiles super non-bingo-y, and opponent has obstructed the 7-letter S lane. It's now an 8-letter S lane. So I trail by 40, 4 tiles in the bag. I've got the V for score, 5 minutes on my clock. Opponent has taken out column 8 as a bingo lane. What about playing in Venet? It's 36 points. The combination of Rons and in Venet means that there are no bingo lanes bottom left rather. 36 points is a decent score. It stops opponent catching me without a bingo. Remaining tiles do not look like there's a bingo ending in T, so I don't have the problem about emptying the bag rather. If opponent bingos, 36 points, 390, he probably wins because I will be emptying the bag. But he'll be very lucky to bingo. He would require a bingo ending in T or going through OU, and I just think he'd be really lucky to find one. I think at this point, my best interests lie in outscoring opponents, so I am going with Invenit. Wow, opponent has the best possible rack. This rack plus OU, so it would end OUS. Not seeing anything. He's got the sub prefix, still not seeing anything. Can't see anything ending in T. Well, if he's got a bingo, you know, jolly good, well done. But I'm not seeing one. In which case I think I'm going to outscore opponent. But I'm not going out in one with this rack. Opponent may have a BM play in column 1, which would score 40 or 50, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I'm going to get something with the M. The R's are pretty useless for me. Very few scoring spots on the board. And if opponent plays in column 1, he won't really be providing anything. What do I have through OU? Nothing. I'm really struggling to find any play which plays off M and R, and I'm pleased that I played Invenit. It gives me that little bit of breathing space when I have a rack, which I struggle to see any score at all. Fortunately, the bag is empty in the sense that opponent can't fish to improve his rack if he doesn't have a bingo. The downside of the bag being empty is that if opponent does have a bingo, he wins. So, what am I going to do here? Do I have a column 1 play? Well, not sure I do, because O can't go next to T. I guess I have mirror in row M. Turns over tiles. But I am expecting opponent to play around Invenit. Unless he's spotted an out bingo and is just enjoying the moment. OU looks like it might be quite good. But I'm still not seeing a bingo. There is the out component part of a word as well as OUS. Okay, so anything other than mirror for me. What's my best play through OU? Just Raum, I think, for 6 points. That's pretty lame. OUM, not good. I was looking at a play in row J with O and E, but I can't see one which uses the M. Nothing that I've got goes in front of rashed. But opponent could put a B there, so opponent could play brew, leaving mirror alone. I can live in hope. Now, beginning of the month, so brand new video up on Patreon for all supporters of the channel, and it's another really good Blitz game, so do check that out if you are a Patreon, and the link is below if you want to become one. There's a whole catalogue of 5-minute games, all of which are very exciting, plus you get the opportunity to be my opponent on one of these Dweebovision videos, but you're not obliged to be one. And huge thanks to everyone who does support the channel, it keeps it going. Now opponent running down the clock, and I can only imagine he's racking his brains for a bingo because it's the only way he can win. I guess there's a 9-letter lane through I and N, but that's pretty unlikely. B is not a particularly bingo-y tile. But I think regardless of what rack he had, I think he would be struggling. Given all these R's which have been unplayed. Now, 52 points for opponent. He trails by 25. So I've got mirror in row M. Opponent's got BRT. So is he going out? Well, not that I can see. So this is what I'm thinking. Mirror for 16. Is there anything better for me? I don't think there is. I'm going with this. And I have 4 minutes. I think in an actual tournament I would have spent a little longer looking for alternative plays. But the game is won. So if opponent doesn't go out, and I still don't think he can, what do I do with my E? I've got U, and he can go out. Okay. Maybe I gifted opponent an out. And the final score, 373 for my opponent, 406 for me, a winning margin of 33 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow. Was waiting for opponent to catch me in the end, and he didn't. So opponent asking for a rematch. And it was opponent to go first. And he played Ake. My rack. Gosh, Covines, double. 48 points, and novices, it's anagram. Those were the plays that were better than Jibes, but apart from that, Jibes was best, but certainly I think the doubles were better plays. Opponent's rack. No bingo. Plays Guanos. And I have a dream rack. H8, there was a play down from the A, Aciloins, but that was the only one. And then there were plays through the G. And I played Unsocial. I didn't like the G plays because they were, I think they were ending INGS, so they were sticking an I underneath this triple letter square, and also enabling a high-scoring tile to go on this double letter square in column 8, but Unsocial does the same. But Unsocial feels less volatile and is only slightly fewer points. Opponent's rack, Vowel Heavy, plays Noogie. And now B7, Way. I thought about that for 36, but look at this, J12. Same score, and not providing access to a triple word square. Opponent's rack plays O's. Now, thought about playing off Q and I, but then went with Key to play off one more vowel, and I think that's worthwhile, even though I'm sacrificing 9 points. I think it's worthwhile. The difference between 3 and 4 vowels is a lot. This is very difficult to calculate, but let me have a go. So blank double EO. E helps the blank, which is 25 to 30, so that probably pushes it towards 30. Second E doesn't damage it much. The O does damage it. So I'd say that drags it all the way back to around 25. Then what does the A do to that? I would say that drags it back a lot, down to about 20. So there could be a 5-point difference. There's a 9-point difference in scores, which whenever the score and rack leave combination results in numbers which are within 5 of each other, I regard the moves as fairly close, and I prefer the move with the better rack leave. So I'm still happy with my play. Opponent's rack, pretty grim. Glad it wasn't mine. Plays Lack. Phew, no missed bingo here, but I could have played Wheat for 42. What do? I play U for 30. And here it probably would have been better to go for the extra points. Now, opponent's rack plays Tagged. And I have a dream rack and play Posited and Antipode in second place in terms of points, and a ton of other bingos available. So 2 great racks for me in terms of having the blanks, which gave me an advantage over opponent. But look at this, fantastic comeback by opponent with neutral. Only trails by 50. No missed bingo here. Fetation was the one I saw, but it didn't play. What do? I played Tifo for 34, which, although it appears to be off the pace, is taking out floaters, which I think is the right thing to do when you have a 50-point lead on a board which is going to be tight after you made that play. Opponent's rack plays yep. Wow, missed bingo, A1, onto the T, bandlet. Wow, that would have definitely sealed the game, but I didn't see it. I play dab instead. Gosh, I thought I'd made a point of considering that T. Maybe I did and just didn't see bandlet. It's not a massively easy word to spot, but certainly one I've studied. So dab, although second place, is second place by a long distance. Opponent's rack plays if. No missed bingo here, and I play Lind to keep hold of my vowels and not to provide floaters. Lined also available in the same spot, possibly worth considering, but risking a massive vowel shortage, so I still prefer my play. Opponent's rack plays Rons, and I play Invenit for 36, and I like that. So, did opponent have a bingo at the end? No, he didn't, and he found the highest scoring play in Muse, my rack, and I could have gone out. Gosh, I7. Armourer down from the A. Gosh, well done if you spotted that. I missed it. So I play Mirror for 16, which is in there, and that gives opponent an out, which he wouldn't otherwise have had. So an endgame not played optimally, but still played winningly. And that was the end of the game. So absolutely tremendous fun, really close battle against a strong opponent. Whenever an opponent's got a rating of 1830, there is a likelihood that his real rating would be higher, because ISC caps ratings at 1830 unless you've got a record of playing in real life tournaments, in which I have, which allows my rating to go above 1830, but it's possible that players only play online, haven't played in person, and that an 1830 rating underrates their performance. And certainly my opponent made a number of good plays and stayed in the game despite not having the blanks. So many thanks to my opponent for a great battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.